What's going on, Ghosties? Welcome back to Tales of Spooky Coffee House. If you're new here, welcome to our podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Chelsea.
And I'm drinking a bomb ass matcha tea latte right now, iced. It is so good, but
Ooh.
it's already halfway done, and I'm a little sad.
And we're just getting started recording.
And we're just getting started. This isn't okay. We're not off to a good start, guys.
It's okay. My coffee is cold because it's been sitting here for so long while I
Oh,
sip on it.
boo-hoo. Cold coffee. This guy.
Listen, when it starts off hot and then it goes to cold, it does not taste the same as an iced coffee, okay? It just tastes fucking nasty.
Um, okay, I
Anyways,
kind of get that. I
so
kind of get that.
yeah, like I like iced coffee, just not when it starts off hot.
Yeah. Okay, but doesn't all coffee start off hot?
No, not necessarily.
Mm. Go ahead.
Okay, I let's talk about the Ohio train incident. Have you heard about this?
Maybe. Go ahead.
Okay, the fact pisses me off even more. Not because you haven't heard of it, but because you have it.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, it totally makes sense. Yes.
Okay, so I don't think that this is getting enough attention or that people are taking it as seriously as they need to be.
Uh-huh.
So, if you don't know, on February 3rd, around 9 p.m., a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, about 50 miles outside of Pittsburgh. The incident is still under investigation, but basically 38 train cars derailed, which caused a fire and damaged an additional 12 cars.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly 1 million pounds of vinyl chloride, which is a toxic chemical, was on this train, and the EPA has confirmed that it has entered the Ohio River Basin. And so not only is this river home to 25 million people, but it's the fish in the river are literally dying. So there's videos of people that they're taking when they're walking down the river, and you can just see all of the dead fish all throughout. And I understand, like, it's a toxic chemical. The fish within the contamination area are going to die, but this is starting to go through like the whole river now. Like, it's past their filters that are set up and it's getting into the environment. So the vinyl chloride is not just flammable, it's also a brain, lung, blood, and liver carcinogen. And they're telling citizens that it's perfectly okay for them to return to their homes, and that the smell of chemicals and that the smell of
Oh.
chemicals and dead fish are nothing to worry about. This is one of the deadliest environment emergencies in the last few decades, and I haven't heard shit about it like on the news or anything. Like, obviously you're in California, you haven't even
Yeah,
heard of it.
I haven't.
And that's what makes me so mad, because right now it's affecting the surrounding states, one of which is the one that I live in, but it's also reaching other states, and eventually it's going to make its way to California.
I love how that didn't make global, well, not global news, but news
It
within the
should.
US at least. But
It
I
should.
I did instead hear about a semi truck that overturned, I think it was somewhere in Nevada on the 10 or 15 or something, and it had like chemicals in it that started spewing out, and it was literally like yellow, orange, like a mustard color
I wonder
smoke
if
type
I
thing.
wonder if that's the one I was going to tell you about in Arizona.
Was it that one? What was it? Nitrate
Nitric
acid?
acid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in Arizona. I was
Okay.
Before I get to like the next thing about this issue. So the citizens of East Palestine, they're getting angry, just like I am, and I don't even live there,
Hmm.
that no one's communicating the dangers of the spill, and that they're being told it's safe to return home. And even people like Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania and Congressman Jamal Bowen are weighing in on the inaccurate information that's being released and the lack of publicity and coverage that this disaster is getting. And this isn't the worst part. I'm heading into like conspiracy theory territory here, but I also have to say it because it's too much that's happening and not enough people are talking about it.
Hmm.
So the Ohio train derailment is not the only thing that's happened. As you said, there was also that spill, the nitric acid in Arizona. There's also been another trail derailment outside of Detroit by the same operator as the Ohio incident. There was also a derailment in Houston, Texas, that was carrying hazardous materials, and now they're checking the air pollution because of that. There was one incident in Louisiana that started leaking acid as well. One in South Carolina. There's also a 5 acre. Yeah, I'm not done.
Oh God, I can't.
There's
This is
also
funny
a
to
five
me.
acre. There's also a 5 acre warehouse in Florida that went up to flames that has chemicals in it. There was a chemical plant explosion in Chicago. All of this happened within the same 2 weeks.
Oh God, I love this world.
And nobody is talking about any of it. I haven't seen any of these incidents except on TikTok. Like, I had to go make sure that all of this was fucking legit because I was like, there's no way. There's
Well,
no
that's the
way
thing.
all of
That's the
this.
thing about TikTok that I appreciate is you actually start hearing shit about places and news and
Mm-hmm.
that you
Mm-hmm.
don't hear on TV because TV they just tell you shit that they want to tell you or that the higher ups
Exactly.
want us to know about.
Exactly. Which it's why it cracks me up every time the government tries to shut down fucking TikTok because they don't want people to know the truth.
Man, I wish Hobby was here. But
Yeah, if Hobby was here, he'd have a lot to say too. But the government is starting a war on pollution, and it's not just like right now it's affecting the U.S., but this is gonna affect the world eventually if people don't start bringing attention to it.
did you hear about that glacier that's like really close to like breaking and
Oh
that
gosh.
it's gonna raise sea level about 2 feet, which will destroy homes, kill people, all that stuff,
Yeah.
and all around the coast and stuff like that.
I haven't heard about that, but yeah, anytime glaciers break up, they're always gonna raise the sea levels.
I'm excited. Let's see how the year ends. let's see
we're
let's see if
gonna
we make it.
we're gonna go up in flames.
Let's start making bets how long we're gonna last.
Let's not. Let's move on to more fun topics, yeah?
Please.
Okay, so Veronica,
Mm.
you know you're my best friend. I would
Mm.
literally take a bullet for you. I would kill for you.
What are you up to?
So I was watching TikTok the other day
Okay.
and I saw this particular one and it made me realize we're best friends, we're sisters. I'm not going to say how long because it drives you crazy, but it's
Thank
a long
you.
time. But how much do we actually know about each other?
Oh man.
I want to
Well, I
play
know
a
your
game.
name. I know your name.
You know
I
my birthday?
know I August 17th, 1990 something. Are you a
How many brothers?
95?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, wait, are you asking me the questions already or is this a
Yeah.
pre-quiz?
No, that was the first question, but it was a pre-quiz because you said that.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But that was one of the questions was when is my birthday?
Oh, okay, cool. Nailed it.
Okay, so trick question. How many brothers and sisters do I have?
Oh shit, I don't know. um as far as stepbrothers and stepsisters, I don't know what your dad's been up to. So I don't know.
That's okay. Right now I don't have any.
Okay, cool.
Legally.
Oh, that was
Legally.
okay. That was a trick. Okay. Oh, God,
Yeah, because if
Jesus.
if my mom does get married, then I will have an additional 5 step siblings.
Damn. Okay.
Plus with her previous marriage, I did have 2 step siblings then too, but so that's why it was a trick question.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for an easy one?
Yes.
What what's my special talent?
Oh man. Your special talent?
Yeah.
Ew, you sound so disappointed that I didn't answer it right away.
Because I kind of am.
I don't know, dude.
It's not a secret talent. What's my special talent?
I don't know. I'm scared. Can I have a
Yeah.
hint? Oh,
It's
hell no.
writing.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wait, writing. This is scary. Okay, go. Next.
What's What's my star sign?
Oh, fuck. When were you born? August. Well, you're definitely not a Sagittarius. You're
Rar.
not a Scorpio. Oh, lie. Is that like what's a
A
what
Leo.
Leo? Oh fuck. Well, you should have let me go down the line. I was gonna cancel out Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio. You're not an Aries. You're not a Cancer. Oh man.
Okay, let's try for another easy one.
Okay.
Who's my celebrity crush?
Oh, what's his face from Scream?
Okay, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Skeet.
That one.
Yeah. Okay,
Ulrich.
what's
Mm.
what's the main thing I don't like about myself?
How sexy you are.
I don't like that
I don't
about myself.
know. How white you are? I don't know. Even though
You
deep
know,
down you're not.
you know what? That one was personal, wasn't it? That hurt.
Why?
How
Chelsea,
white I
I'll
am?
love you. No.
We're never gonna get through this.
No, like, no offense to how white you are. Oh no. Oh, okay, let's move
Okay.
on, please.
Yeah. What's my greatest fear?
Dolls.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah. I was gonna do what's my favorite movie, but I feel like that one's easy. So, what's my favorite Netflix series?
It's not Wednesday, is it?
No, I mean I like it, but it's not my favorite.
Netflix series. Can I get a hint?
It's not. Okay, well let me clarify that. It's not like Netflix specific. It's just what's on Netflix right now. Like what's something I can sit down and just binge watch all day, even though I've seen it a million times.
Uh
I have a tattoo for it.
oh, Supernatural.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening with my brain right now. I'm acting
What's
I'm
my
acting like we're pretending that we've been friends for so long and we just met like last year. Okay,
This
go.
is great. So, what's my favorite food?
Mexican food.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's my favorite genre of music?
Uh, well, it's not country.
That's like the least favorite.
It's between, is it like what you used to listen to, or are you not listening to that stuff anymore? Like rock, heavy
Yeah.
metal, maybe? I don't know if you're into heavy metal. I don't think you are, but
I am. I like both of those genres. But my favorite is rap metal.
okay. Sure. Yeah. No, let's pretend that's a thing. Sure.
It's a thing. What's
Mhm.
my favorite animal?
Fuck. I can't wait to ask you questions. Um, your favorite animal is. Can I have a hint?
That's part of my name now.
Oh, a wolf.
Yeah. What's my favorite day of the week?
Um, Fridays.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
because I get to record with you.
You're so sweet.
Okay, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Chocolate or ice cream?
Ooh, ice cream?
Yeah, day or night?
Night.
Yeah, going out or staying in?
Staying in.
Yes. What's my favorite season?
Halloween. So, fall. What? That's a season?
What's my favorite season? Halloween. Just instant. Just instant. Okay. Movies or music?
Movies?
Okay.
Is that
Pizza or
wrong or is that
burgers?
right?
No, that was right.
Okay, if I'm wrong, you can tell me. Let me learn about you.
Well, I had to think about it too for a second because I was like, well,
You
I
don't know
really
your
like.
own answers? Oh my God.
Well, because I switched my questions up, so I was like, that doesn't match my question.
Okay.
Anyways, pizza or burgers?
Boogers? Ew.
Burgers.
Um, Pizza?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mountains or the beach?
For you,
Yes, for me.
I don't know. The beach or no,
So,
the mountains? Does
okay,
it
so that's a
depend what state you're in?
yes.
Okay.
Because, and the reason I say that is because for some reason in the Midwest, I'm allergic to mosquitoes, but in California, I'm not. But
Oh,
also, California has real beaches and Midwest does not. They call them beaches, but they're lake beaches and they're not actual beaches.
yeah.
Okay, early bird or night owl?
I could see you as a night owl, but I could also see you as an early bird because you're a mom.
Okay, so taking kids out of the equation.
Night owl.
Yeah. So, ghosties, make sure you let Veronica and I know how you think she did.
No, I don't know. Don't no. We don't need shut up. Shut up, ghosties. No.
uh, but I have a feeling Veronica's gonna get back at me next week. So give her all the hate, ghosties, because it's gonna come back to me.
I am so excited. Oh, you're going down. You better start studying because you know the first question I'm gonna ask you is name all my brothers and nephews.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny?
What?
First of all, I can't name all your nephews, but I can't name all your brothers because there's one that I always forget and it pisses me off.
Even Z has them down by now.
Dude, I don't know why, but your fourth brother, I can never remember his fucking name.
Me either. All right, yes, let's move on to let's move on to the true crime topic of the week, shall we?
Okay. I am already going to tell you, I'm going to butcher the name because I am not Greek. I can't say Greek syllables.
I
It's.
Sweetie, at this point we expect it. It's okay.
I know, but I have been doing really good this season with trying to learn the names. So, like, I've
Mm-hmm.
been, like, Googling them. Google is not helping me with Greek.
You could do it, and I believe in you. You got this.
Okay. So, true crime topic of the week is Mariam Soulakiotis.
Soulakiotis.
Sure. So, Abbess Mariam S., we're going to call her S from now on, was born in 1883 in Greece. Not much else is known about her birth, and her birth year is only speculated because she died on November 23rd, 1954.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the reports said that she died at the age of 71, so that's the estimated year that she was born. Before I move on, I wanted to clarify what an abbess is because I don't want to assume that listeners know.
Mm-hmm.
But an abbess is similar to like a mother superior, and it's the head of a Catholic nunnery.
Okay.
Meow.
Oh
So
no.
Mariam is also known as Woman Rasputin and Mother Rasputin. Those were her nicknames. And she was a Greek calendarist, Eastern Orthodox abbess, and serial killer who was found guilty of numerous counts of murder, fraud, and other crimes, which the public prosecutors of the Kingdom of Greece alleged that she committed against the lay people and other nuns in her abbey. Between the years of 1939 and her arrest in December 1950. Similar to her birth, not much else is known about her before she became an Orthodox nun, only that she was from a poor family and she was a factory worker. So she became a nun around 23 years of age, so in the early 1900s. Now, Mariam, together with the Archbishop Matthew Karpathakis, they founded, this is going to be really bad, the Panagia Pevkovanogia Teresa Monastery in 1927.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this monastery's name is longer than my entire name put together, okay?
You did great, okay?
So,
You probably did a better job than what I would have done.
so this is roughly translated as the monastery of the entrance into the temple of the most holy Theokatos, the healer on the Pine Mountain. That's literally what it translates to. That's like a full fucking sentence.
Wow.
So, anyways, they founded this monastery together. And while Mariam's official tenure as an abbess began in 1950, which is 23 years after they founded it, she had already been doing the work of an abbess since by pretty much the beginning. And she assumed full responsibility for the monastery when the archbishop was starting to get older because he was 78 when they founded it.
Mm-hmm.
So he left her all the day-to-day operations, and for some of that time, he was also in prison as a Hiro monk. So there was like a lot going on. So, anyways, his health started to decline during World War II, which was leaving him even less able to be effective in supervising Mariam and
Mm-hmm.
the church. So he became more dependent on her. And there's some inconspicuousities that portrayed her negatively, even in the Eastern Orthodox Church's histories, because one historian, he relates a story where she said to have prevented the archbishop from saying something on his deathbed to a fellow bishop. And so it's claimed that she burst into the room when he was trying to tell them something and demanded that him and his entourage leave at once. The Archbishop Matthew would die a few days after that, so it's unknown what he wanted to say. The biggest conspiracy with that is not so much what he wanted to say, but the fact that it might have been a deathbed confession of sorts. So after his death, Mariam succeeded him as abbot of the monastery. During this period of her life, she was described and even photographed as wearing a chaste version of the typical black gown that Eastern Orthodox nuns of the highest rank would wear. And she could only become the abbess she couldn't rise higher than that because women couldn't be ordained as priestesses. She was at the height of the monarchy for this particular location. And it's alleged that she would, after his death, that she would encourage wealthy women to join the convent and then torture them until they donated their fortunes to the monastery. Once the money was donated, she would then embezzle it and in some cases even kill the donor. Even though the archbishop didn't die until the 50s, beginning in 1940, after establishing control over the nuns in the monastery, she's said to have sent the monastery's monks around in Greece in search of wealthy spinsters and widows and families to convert. One of her accusers would later say that she was held in isolation and tortured until she surrendered property is equivalent to $816,341 today in US. So Mariam first came to the attention of the police when an anonymous complaint was made by the daughter of a wealthy woman who had willed all her property to the monastery. She insisted that her mother wouldn't have done this without being forced and accused the monastery's administration of blackmail and threats. After this, Mariam faced further police scrutiny when they were searching for an 18-year-old woman from Toledo, Ohio, who was born in Greece and went missing in 1949. The United States' FBI had traced the woman to the monastery, and her father had called on Greek authorities to take action, claiming that his daughter was lured to the convent by a nun who he identified as Mariam. This girl had left property to the monastery that was worth $10,000. And it's not actually proven whether or not this particular case was true because the Associated Press reported that he was able to get into contact with his daughter after the initial reports, but they omitted saying whether or not she had actually been in the convent. So they were able to reach her. The money did go to the monastery, but they don't know if there was actually a connection with her or not.
Mm-hmm.
So the prosecution further alleged that Mariam's strict adherence to practices among those in the convent led to unnecessary deaths of 150 people who had sought treatment at the monastery for tuberculosis. Now, at this time, the medical treatment for tuberculosis was not very advanced as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So even if doctors had been on the property, it would have been likely that there would have been just as many deaths. But in this case, doctors alleged that they weren't allowed on site except to sign death certificates and that they were never able to carry out medically supervised treatments of anybody infected. So even though she did call doctors, she didn't call them to help anybody. Victims of her administration in the monastery who were still alive in the 1950s also accused her of torturing them, falsely imprisoning them, and beating them. Due to questions over the voluntary nature of all of these claims, the initial charges that prosecutors felt they could carry out were the illegal export of olive oil and illegal import of tires. So rather than going for murder charges, they did illegal trading.
Wow.
Yeah. So even as more and more evidence and witness statements came to light, the indictment of Mariam was repeatedly revised. So at trial, her attorney said in her defense that people surrendered their material property to monasteries when joining as a matter of a vow of poverty. He also said that properties were put into Mariam's personal name simply because there was no legal person behind the monastery. And he also showed a letter that claimed thanks to Mariam and the clergy for risking themselves to aid the escapes of a number of British soldiers during some of the wars that took place in Greece in World War II. And they were trying to use that she aided soldiers, and so there's no way that she could have committed all these other crimes. I have a list of victims that she was found guilty for murdering, but she had a lot of pending unresolved cases that never made it to trial before her death. The known victims that she was guilty of killing were Mr. and Mrs. Baca. I am so sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Hannah Gagiotopolo, Michael Luco, Sister Theodot, and Sister Maria. Now, I want you to keep that number in mind, okay? So that's 7 victims, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
During the charges that were filed against her, up until her death, Mariam was denying all of the accusations against her. She was calling them satanic fictions, and she was said to have accepted all of her criminal sentences without emotion, only crossing herself and saying a quiet prayer of vengeance to St. Matthew. She's been described as a cult leader who had more than 400 followers living in the monastery at the peak of her power. State records showed that 500 people willed all of their property to the monastery and later died in it. So 500 people died on that property after giving the monastery their stuff. And prosecutors asserted that this was an unusually high number for a legitimately operated monastery of its size. So that was where, her defenders were saying, oh, they put it in her name because there wasn't anybody to head the church. But prosecutors are arguing that not that many people would give all their stuff to a church.
Yeah.
In 1951, after her arrest, her followers marched in protest at her detention, demanding that their leader be given back to them, which led police to protect the home of the archbishop, who said that some old calendarists were planning to kidnap in retaliation, with the goal being to hold him hostage until the authorities released Mariam. So, as I said, Mariam was only charged on the 7 charges of murder before her death. So, with those 7 murders, how long do you think she was sentenced to prison for? Just for those 7?
7 murders? Well, that should be for life, but I'm taking, I don't know, I have a feeling you're gonna see a small number.
14 years.
Mm, wasn't 14 years the same thing that what's his face got after he tried to kill Mary Vincent?
Yes. After he did murder, he got 14 years. After 7
Yeah, you're
first
right.
degree murders, she got 14 years.
Wow.
She did die in prison, and she was buried on the grounds of the convent near the body of her predecessor, the Bishop Matthew. Even after her death, her sector continued underground despite having been outlawed. So police were investigating cases of young girls vanishing into thin air, which they believe led to, they call it the Rebel Carita Coven, which Carita is where the monastery was built. In 1961, police stated that they did not know who had taken over after Mariam, stating that the monastery's new abbess had protected the art of making herself and her sisters vanish without a trace. That's pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
As of last year, the monastery that was once managed by Mariam remains open and still has members who believe she was innocent and who view her as a saint. However, they are no longer an illegal section in Greece, and the number of Mariam's victims is a matter of debate even today. So the most commonly cited figure of 27 murders and 150 negligent homicides from tuberculosis comes from medical testimony during her trial. However, at one point, it was claimed that she had killed more than 500 people.
Wow.
So those are the people that, believe she's guilty and just can't put a number on her crimes, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
However, some modern people, like English speaking writers from Greece, assert that Mariam was innocent and unjustly tried. And as of 2008, none of the monastery's current nuns were personal witnesses to what took place during Mariam's, I'm just going to say, like, her reign. Yet they still continued to pray to the Holy Mariam of Caritha, who they regard as a martyr in the cause of Christ. Other sources like Nina Kolataki in her 2019 Greek language piece on female serial killers, she argues that people like Abbess Mariam would have had equal success regardless of their brand of Greek Orthodox Christianity. But she opinions that the tabloid journalist used the details of her convent as a convenient distraction from political chaos of her time. Even an American professional on the information of serial killers, particularly female serial killers, he wrote that the prosecution established that the number from the prosecution of 177, which was the 27 murders and the 150 negligent cases, that those were pretty accurate and that she did not have any other victims past that. So she's very debated, but killer nuns, they're out there.
Oh, I believe it. I've heard about nuns, man. Surprised you're not a nun.
Meow.
Jesus.
Are you really surprised that I'm not a nun?
No, it was a joke.
I'm like the opposite of what a nun could be.
I mean, I could picture you being like one of these type of nuns.
I mean, if I had to hide, I have to hide somewhere.
Ew. All right, FBI, if you're listening to this.
If I ever commit a crime and I go missing, that's the first place they're going to look.
She's going to be a nun. You'll just walk into the church. If you see a nun sizzling, it's her.
I'm going to be the nun that never walked on holy ground.
Exactly.
Anyways, so that is Mother Rasputin. Do you want to get us started on the paranormal topic of the week?
Yes, it's your favorite.
I know, I'm dreading it.
Robert the Doll. If you haven't heard of Robert the Doll, please take caution. No, please proceed with caution. He is known to curse those who simply look at his picture without his permission.
So, are we going to be posting a picture of him?
I will be posting a couple pictures of him. Warning. You can definitely look at this picture that I have posted
you at your
here.
Own risk.
But yeah, you're risking being cursed simply by looking at him. Or even watching a YouTube video of him, or even what I did, look into his information, his history. So, if I'm not back for next week, you know what happened. So the doll originally belonged to Robert Eugene Otto, an artist described as eccentric who belonged to the prominent Key West family. The doll was reportedly manufactured by the Steiff Company of Germany, purchased by Otto's grandfather while on a trip to Germany in 1904, and given to young Otto as a birthday gift. The doll's sailor suit was likely an outfit that Otto wore as a child. The doll remains stored in the Otto family home at 534 Eaton Street in Key West, while Otto studied art in New York and Paris. Otto married Annette Parker in Paris on May 3rd, 1930. The couple returned to the Otto family home in Key West to live there until Otto died in 1974. His wife died 2 years later. After their deaths, the Eaton Street home containing the doll was sold to Myrtle, I'm just going to go with Reuter, who owned it for 20 years, until the property was sold to the current owners, who operated as a guest house. In 1994, the doll was donated to East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, where it became a popular tourist attraction. It is annually rotated at the old post office and custom house in October. So, according to legend, the doll has supernatural abilities that allow it to move. This is going to be your favorite part. It could change its facial expressions and make giggling sounds.
Hell no.
Oh, I would love if tonight, whether you're dreaming about it
Shut up.
or it
Shut up.
actually
Shut up.
happens,
Shut
but I
up.
would love for you to
Shut up.
hear giggling
Shut
in the
up. Shut
corner
up.
of your
Shut up.
room while
Shut up.
you're
Shut up.
sleeping.
I have children. That could be a possibility. Shut up.
Or maybe like one of your kids is sleepwalking and they're just giggling in like the corner of the room or right next to the bed staring at you. Oh my gosh.
No, I don't want to do that again. I don't know if I told you, but that's actually happened before.
Well, I would just love for it to happen again tonight, specifically after I tell you about Robert.
Did I tell you about that incident?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna say it really quick because it's actually pretty like scary. When Izzy was, I want to say like 2, yeah, because I was pregnant with Remy, so she was about 2, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and the place that we were living in at the time was kind of like we had it set up like a studio. So she had her own room, we had the bathroom, and then everything else, like our bedroom and the living room, was all just one room.
Mm-hmm.
This psychopath, I mean, she was born on Halloween, it was bound to happen, but I woke up in the middle of the night and she was standing at the end of my, or not the end of my bed, she was standing on the side of my bed looking at me with a knife in her hand.
I don't like this.
So don't put that on me. Because I
I will
don't want it to
never
happen
sleep
again.
in the same house as you and your kids. That's for sure.
She hasn't done anything quite as bad, but that was scary.
I don't care. The fact that it's been done.
So,
Okay.
anyways, continue with Robert the doll.
So, anyways, some versions of the legend claim that a young girl of Bahamian descent gave Otto the doll as a gift or as retaliation for a wrongdoing. Other stories claim that the doll moved voodoo figurines around the room and was aware of what went on around him. Still, other legends claim that the doll vanished after Otto's house changed ownerships a number of times after his death, or that young Otto triggered the doll's supernatural powers by blaming his childhood mishaps on the doll. According to the local folklore, the doll has caused car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and a cornucopia of other misfortunes. And museum visitors supposedly experience post-visit misfortunes for failing to respect Robert. Again, that is what you're risking simply looking at his picture, simply taking a picture of him without permission, or even reading about him. I mean, this guy is just, bad news, bad luck all around. Am I scared? How worse can my luck get? So I will be
That's
posting...
a morbid way to look at that.
I'll be posting a picture of him on Instagram. But yeah, that's my topic. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Thanks for the traumatizing doll topic.
You're welcome.
I will not
I'll
be
do
able
more
to sleep tonight.
I'll do a lot more. I'll send you a picture.
No! Don't send me a picture of a doll.
Or, okay, a YouTube video.
No. I'm not going to open anything that you send to me for like the next 3 weeks. Oh, you sent me a link to record the podcast? Well, I'm not opening it.
Oh, imagine it's like a freaking, what do you call it? Virus. And it just like pops up.
Oh, no.
Robert the doll everywhere on your screen. Anyways, moving on. So we have I don't want to say but we have a treat for you guys. This week, we're going to do a tarot card. Oh my God, what? We're going to do a tarot card reading for me, myself, and I. I gave Chelsea a list of spreads that she could do on me just because there's a few that I'm interested in doing and I had her choose. And it looks like she ended up choosing a past life spread. So,
Yes.
Chelsea, you said the cards slapped you in the face?
Yeah, so 4 out of the 5 cards basically flew out of the deck. And then in the middle of shuffling, I had this like I call it like a vibration feeling where it's like my fingers were itching and I like literally picked out a card until I found the right one. So like these cards definitely were meant for this reading. So the spread consists of 5 cards. Card 1 is how your past lives currently affect your emotions. Card 2 is how your past lives currently affect your behavior. Card 3 is what past life beliefs have you unconsciously brought over into this lifetime. Card 4 is how can you cut the cords to these beliefs. And card 5 is the most important lesson that you've learned from a past life.
I'm so excited. I feel like I'm gonna get mad at like a couple of my past lives, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think that it's, I don't think you're going to be mad just because it's not going to go into detail. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if we actually like sat down and did like an in detail one, you'd be pissed
Oh, well.
off. So card 1 is how your past lives currently affect your emotions. And this comes through the Queen of Cups. You have a lot of stability emotionally and warmth around you. And there's a female in your life who is supportive, but you might be too sensitive or too caring, but you're intuitive. And so you're a good listener to yourself. Even though you feel overwhelmed at times, you actually have an intense emotional stability. So your emotions might feel out of whack, but you know yourself better than you realize. So, how is your past lives currently affecting your behavior? This comes through the Seven of Cups. You have a lot of options and possibilities around you right now, and you're feeling very indecisive and you're procrastinating because of that. So when you decide to finally pick and choose, your past lives are going to come into play because you're going to want to think realistically about what you can commit to rather than taking steps toward a fantasy.
Ew.
So, card 3, what past life beliefs have you unconsciously brought over into this lifetime? And this comes through the Seven of Wands. You have a lot of beliefs of being challenged. So, you feel like people are attacking you, blaming you, and you feel like you're in a corner standing up for your beliefs and yourself, almost like a trapped animal. So you're feeling a lot of defensiveness. So you want to, well, you're going to be going through a lot, but you have the stamina to endure it. So you have kind of like that belief that you're being targeted when in reality it's just life decisions that are getting in your way. So card 4 is how you can cut cords into these beliefs. And this comes through the Emperor. So to cut through these beliefs, you need to tell yourself and remind yourself constantly that there is stability in your life. You are on top of things and everything is under control. And doing so, your self discipline and self control is going to put you back in charge of your life by setting your own rules and boundaries. Last card, card 5, the most important lesson that you've learned from a past life. And this comes through the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So, an important lesson that you've learned is that grounding yourself and making sure that you don't overinvest in other aspects of your life and making sure that there's a balance is really important. So you want to work on any insecurities you have and build a confidence as long as you remember your priorities and you're not trying to be controlling or materialistic. It's going to put you in balance and harmony within your life. So yeah, that's your past life spread and how it's affecting you in the present.
I didn't comment
I've
because
noticed.
I think I would get very like personal about things.
Mm-hmm.
I think you knowing me, I already know what's up. Like,
And that's kind of why like I didn't say anything when you didn't respond. I just kept moving on.
yeah.
I was
Okay,
like,
cool.
I was like, she's like thinking really hard right now. I'm just gonna keep going.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. We're on the same page. Cool.
Yeah. Like if I didn't hear your background noise in your headphones, I probably would have been like, "Are you still there?"
Hello. I know at one point I was like, I bet like people are gonna think that she recorded this part by herself or something. Like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. It's just
Hitting a little too close to home.
yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. That's okay. We
Um,
don't have to talk about it.
so go see something I wanted to say to you guys is thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to us. As you know or may not know, I am recording from California. Chelsea is recording from where are you? Indiana, Michigan?
Indiana.
Indiana. Thank God that wasn't a question earlier.
Well, I'm like, I did live in Michigan a few years ago, and I am like right at the border. But yeah, you're
Anyways, this
okay.
guy. Okay, cool. She's in New York. So there may be some audio stuff that happens here and there. She's a mom, so you might hear kids in the background. So, just thank you. We appreciate you for working with us.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool. Okay.
yeah,
And I just wanted to say thank you. We just wanted to say thank you. And we also wanted to say thank you for joining us this week, Ghosties. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want a free tarot card reading, please DM us. We will choose one lucky person a week. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica.
and I'm Chelsea.
Have a spooky weekend, Ghosties. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.